Welcome everybody to the Mayor's Fall Update series. We'll be starting in a few minutes. We'll let people catch up on as far as attendance, and we'll get going. So bear with us. Thank you. We'll be starting in just a few seconds here. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Well, great. Let's get started here. Good morning and welcome to our sixth session of our Mayor's Fall Update series. Today we feature Mayor Terry Ugulini, Mayor of Thorold. In our final session, we'll be hosting on December 3rd. That's 2 weeks from now, Mayor Bill Steele, who's the Mayor of Port Colborne. We thank all of our mayors for participating in this series. We know that many of our members are concerned and have a number of questions regarding what is happening in our communities during these challenging times. Certainly with regards to business owners, it's extremely challenging. We look forward to the information that we'll be obtaining through the updates and for the leadership that we have in Niagara from our mayors and municipalities. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today, B4 Networks, Niagara's largest IT service company, and Growth Associates, myself, Vern Milo, for supporting the series. And we also like to thank our partner, the Niagara Board of Trade and Commerce. The format for this morning will begin with Mayor Ugulini's update. We'll then open up to questions. Please note that if you hover your cursor on the bottom of your screen, there should be a Q&A button in the middle. Use that and not the chat button to pose questions. We'll hope to get to your question, but if we don't, we'll be happy to source an answer for you after this webinar. So please contact us and we'll be happy to do so on your behalf. I'd like to now turn the floor over to Mayor Ugulini, and thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for coming today. And we're certainly very much looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the South Niagara Chamber of Commerce for hosting today's event. I want to thank Dolores Fabiano for the invitation and Vern Malone for moderating today's virtual update. During these COVID-19 unprecedented times, all levels of government are working closely together to keep everyone safe and healthy and our economy moving forward. This has not been easy, and as we all know, some areas of the economy are feeling severe pain. Tourism, restaurants, hospitality, sports and entertainment, to name a few. Small businesses, which are the backbone of our communities, need our support more than ever before. The City of Thorold, due to our diversified economy, are weathering the storm better than most, but not without an impact. Where are we and where are we going moving forward? And I'd like to take you through this slide presentation, and we'll start off with our strategic plan. Recently passed and unanimously supported by Council, it took a while due to the importance of finalizing our transportation, parks, trails, and recreation, as well as our water master plans, which we incorporated into this strategic plan. The City of Thorold strategic plan is about supporting the success of our residents and growing our local economy. It is based on the following 4 goals: business and economic growth, foster a balanced tax base and career opportunities for current and future generations, responsible growth in infrastructure planning, build and sustain infrastructure that makes our community proud, vibrant and inclusive communities, create safe, attractive, accessible places for everyone in our community, and service modernization, modernize and improve municipal services. Next slide. Think bigger. And an example of that is a memorandum of understanding that we signed between HOPA, which is the Hamilton Oshawa Port Authority, the cities of Welland, Port Colborne, and Thorold, to be known as Niagara Ports. We work together to leverage seaway properties along the Welland Canal and develop multimodal hubs. This is moving forward, and I'm hoping in the near future to have some positive announcements, not only for our community, but for all of Niagara. And I think it's a very important initiative. Economic development strategy provisions. One of the key things here is the recent hiring of our economic development manager, Marco Marino, and he is a key part of this strategy moving forward. And if you look at it, it says Team Thorold, sharing vision in Thorold's economic future. We're all in this together, and that means staff, council, businesses, and residents. And we're fostering a mindset to thrive, speaking positively about our own great city, its people, and its assets. We try to make sure we have a positive message and get away from negative messaging. Partnerships and collaborations, leveraging public sector, which is regional, provincial, and federal levels of government, private sector, local associations, chambers of commerce, business improvement areas, pan-regional partnerships, and academic institutions to facilitate new initiatives and support mechanisms for businesses to adapt to the changing business climate. And this will be ongoing and will always be ongoing. Infrastructure and innovation, smart city applications, making Thorold a city of the future, government infrastructure funding applications, and leveraging our post-secondary institutions, which is key because we have two great institutions in our backyard, Brock University and Niagara College. Resiliency, policy adaptation, adapting current policies to complement new market opportunities and new technologies, and rolling out red carpet to developers and investors through a customer service mindset and positive experience at City Hall. And as you can see, the first one's a medium long-term goal, and the second one is a short-term goal, and it's ongoing. And the third one is red tape reduction, identifying barriers and duplication to provide for seamless application processes. And this is short-term and ongoing. And as well, our CAOs are working together with the region to try and streamline service delivery and look for opportunities. One thing I'm really excited about is the Brock District Plan. And as you can see, I just want to make sure I highlight a few things regarding this. This is an award-winning initiative between the region, the city of St. Catharines, and the city of Thorold. And the vision of the Brock District Plan is to leverage the unique economic driver of Brock University. And you can add to that Canada Games Park, which will be located in the Thorold side of Brock University property, and it's going to be another economic driver to that area. Transition the area from a lower density employment area to a higher density mixed use center. Plan for comprehensive and sustainable social, economic, and environmental success. And you see the 7 points on the side, positioning the Brock District globally within UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, setting the Brock District in the Niagara Escarpment. It's gateways to the Brock District, and one of the major gateways will be when you come down St. David's Road, you have the university, and then you'll have Canada Games Park on the other side, as well as the Shimon Parkway area, which is growing and is in, we're seeing a lot of traction in that area. Sustainable urban Brock District, balanced circulation in the Brock District, a green Brock District, and you're going to see a lot of that as that progresses with landscaping and accessibility in that area. And the Brock District will become a complete community. And you look at some of the partners we have there, and again, Foundry Lofts, who are also looking, and they're actually broke ground on an addition on the other side of their existing loft units. Mountain View Group, who has their head office there, CAA, Enbridge, Accenture, and one of the best news stories in Niagara is Norgen Biotech. Norgen Biotech is really making a name for itself on the COVID-19 front. and they're one of the leading producers of COVID-19 test kits, but that's not all they do. And they're currently undergoing an expansion. Residential growth and intensification. The residential growth in our city is expanding at unprecedented rates. Each year, we are seeing our building permit numbers surpass the previous year by a substantial amount. Last year, we issued over 800 building permits. 600 of those were for residential units. Intensification, particularly in our downtown core, is also taking place. This brings added growth in other areas, and this is a driver of the commercial component as well. When you start putting roofs in, then you'll start to see the other growth come on top of that. And as you've seen in the previous slide, we had some of our partners in that, some of the builders that are doing business in our city. Affordable housing. This is a major focus and concern, not only for the city of Thorold, but all municipalities and the Niagara region. It has been recognized as an area of focus by our council in our strategic plan, as well as the strategic plan at the region. This picture here shows the Indigenous Housing Project on Ormond Street, which received funding from upper levels of government. This building here is probably right now, if you drove by, it's probably 3/4 completed, and it's a great project for our city. On top of that, Thorold Municipal Nonprofit Housing is close to breaking ground on a 60-unit new build in Artisan Estates off Beaver Dams Road. This is much needed housing stock, and it's still not enough. And one other area, when you talk about affordable housing, it's also affordability for our youth and young families. And you know the prices in Niagara continue to increase, and this is an area of concern, allowing people to get into the market. Downtown Thorold, this is a great news story. We just finished our recent major infrastructure project of the year in our downtown Front Street area. New utilities, sewer, water, hydro, communication links, road, curb, sidewalk, and streetscaping, all in time for the Christmas shopping season. The ribbon cutting will take place next Saturday morning, November 28th. There will also be a downtown Christmas lighting display and other highlights over the month of December. The information regarding this will be communicated very soon. Council recognized the importance of this project to get it completed now, as to not disrupt our businesses when we return to the new norm. And we're going to be promoting eat, drink, shop local is more important than ever before. And we are committed to promote and help our local businesses. And as you can see the pictures of our downtown, we get a lot of rave reviews, not only because of the revitalization, but the historic nature of our downtown. And in 2017, we won the Prince of Wales Prize for Municipal Heritage Preservation. And we're very proud of that. And we're trying to leverage that on the tourism side. But our downtown has really come a long way, and there's a long way to go. And we're very proud of it. And we invite everybody to come down and enjoy it. And we've tried to help our local businesses as much as possible. One of the things we did was really push hard with all municipalities when we promoted the expansion of patios this summer. And we're going to do everything we can to help them get through this winter. Business expansion investment. Many of our businesses are weathering the pandemic storm and making major investments in our community. Marco Marino has been working really hard with all our business partners, and the focus on not just current initiatives, but a COVID-19 recovery plan moving forward. And you can see here some of our partners that are expanding, and we're very excited about that. Obviously, Norgen Biotech is front and center. Book Depot, our memorandum of understanding with HOPA, to be known as Niagara Ports, Niagara Pre-Hung Doors, which is undergoing an expansion now, and our builders, Pine Street Dental, which purchased a property on Front Street, the old Royal Bank, and are going to be revitalizing that building and moving their clinic in there, which we're excited about. And we always work closely with Walker Industries on many initiatives. So we're excited about that, and it bodes well, I think, for our future. Now we talk about partnerships. I can't stress enough that partnerships are going to be instrumental not only for the city of Thorold, but all municipalities in Niagara moving forward. It's instrumental not only to our success, but the opportunities there are wide ranging. We have post-secondary institutions like Brock University and Niagara College in our backyard, and we're working closely with them on opportunities to partner. Canada Games Park is an example of the region, the city of Thorold, the city of St. Catharines, and Brock University working together to leverage the legacy facilities there. Venture Niagara, we work closely with them and they're our tourism provider. That's another example of a partnership. Right now, we have a tremendous partnership with St. Catharines Transit. They provide our transit within the city, and we'll be working with them closely and working as things move over to Niagara Transit. We also signed an MOU with the city of Welland, Port Colborne, Wainfleet, Pelham, and ourselves to work together on cost-saving initiatives on anywhere we can save money, whether we do a joint issue on sidewalk repair, on crack sealing, on purchasing. So that's another area that we're working on. And I can't stress enough how important partnerships are going to be moving forward. You see up there, community care, St. Catharines Thorold. There's major initiatives. We work closely with our chamber and with the BIA, and these are important partnerships, and they're important in the success of our city moving forward. Before I move to questions, I just want to state that infrastructure investment, we are committed to a robust asset management system, and we also an infrastructure investment that services our community and provides the amenities our residents expect. St. David's Road upgrades with full active transportation incorporated into the design. Canada Games Park Legacy Facility. We purchased land for new Fire Station 1, park upgrades. And one thing we're working closely with the region on, and I've been involved very closely, is the South Niagara Sewage Treatment Plant. That's a major project. It'll be the biggest project in the history of the Niagara region. And it's important not only to the whole region, it's very important for our community as well on the east side of the canal, Thorold South, Allenburg, and Port Robinson East, which will be serviced by that new facility. As we position ourselves moving forward, we need to look at where we will be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, not get caught up in today's numbers. We are centrally located in Niagara with multimodal access and room for responsible growth. The residents from the GTA are discovering Niagara and the new GTA, which is the greater Thorold area. And COVID-19 has forced people to look differently at their lives and future. They are finding Niagara as an attractive alternative, which I believe will accelerate the rebound of our local economy. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make this presentation. And now I'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Mayor Ugulini. It's a great presentation and sure covered a lot of territory. Congratulations on that. Really nice. We are hearing more so this week about Doug Ford perhaps having to go ahead with another shutdown. That certainly is going to affect, small businesses, be it restaurants and so forth. Do you anticipate anything that the city of Thorold can do to help these vulnerable businesses if there is indeed another shutdown, and it may last a month or so? Who knows? What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, one thing we do and Marco takes the lead on this, is working with our local businesses and looking at all opportunities for funding with upper levels of government, and that whatever provincial, federal programs are available to make sure that the programs, they're aware of the programs and work them through the application process. From the city's perspective, at regional level last night, we've made the commitment to work and lobby the upper levels of government on the behalf of the tourism, hospitality, food industries that are really feeling the impact of this. And we're going to be making a strong effort to make that point known that they've really felt the brunt of the lockdowns, and I believe that the government has to step up and help these businesses and industries, and we're going to be pushing for that. At the local level, we'll look at any options we have. We don't have as many options as upper levels of government, but I'm sure that we're open to frank discussions on any opportunities we can have to help our local businesses.
No, thank you. I think you've answered most of this question, but I'm going to pose it anyways. 600 residential building permits. Congratulations. That's fantastic. That's holding a tiger by the tail. It has to break a record, I'm sure.
It was a
But
record.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. And it's going to bring, a great surge of economy to Thorold and so forth. And you did mention about the fact that we want to preserve our downtown area, keep that small town characteristic, and I think probably more so than many municipalities are doing a great job in that regard. But do you kind of see a bit of an onslaught, nevertheless, with this residential growth and expansion and did you have anything else to say about, the yin yang between trying to preserve a downtown and having an onslaught of people coming into your city?
It is a balance. There's no question, Vern. And I think that, you know, growth is great. Change is hard because the local community that's been here all along, it's a big change they're seeing in the community. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
One thing we're lucky in the city of Thorold, which really helps us, is the growth is not all grown together. It's split up across the city. So if you have Rolling Meadows in Thorold South, you have the Westport Robinson community, and what's going on in Thorold, they're all buffered by green space. If you look at the Lake Gibson corridor, that spreads that development out. If you look at the canal and different aspects on the east side of the canal, it's not like it's all just one big um, residential growth area. It is growth. It's big numbers, but it's different pockets throughout the city. So I think that's a positive. But with growth comes other issues. We have to make, I think big issues we're looking for is to make sure that we provide the proper transit. And that was our transportation master plan was essential in providing that guidance of where we have to head with our transportation routes moving forward, as well as we want to get these people to spend money in Thorold. We want them to come and experience our downtown and our restaurants because a lot of them have moved from another area. They don't. A lot of them don't even know where downtown Thorold is. So we have to market that, and we have to really work hard to get them to come downtown and support our local businesses. And we'll be making a big. That's an area where, from the previous question, that we can work to help support our businesses. And we'll be working on that communication and marketing front through our economic development manager to make sure that they know where Thorold is and they know where our businesses are. And we're going to be really pushing that they support our local businesses.
That's awesome. By the way, congratulations in my mind in finding an excellent economic development officer in Marco Marino.
Absolutely.
I know Marco. I know Marco from the Industrial Development, or from the Niagara Industrial Association, and also from working with the city of St. Catharines. And you got yourself a great guy there. I'm sure you've seen some good initiatives.
Well, absolutely.
Um,
We're excited to have them, and we work closely together, and I can see the impact he's made in the short time he's been here.
oh, that's great. That's super. Um, the city of St. Catharines, mentioning them, I think at the next council meeting is voting on, a transfer of the Ontario Street GM property from, an industrial employment land zoning to a mixed zoning of residential commercial. There has to be an economic initiative in many municipalities to cut back on employment lands, convert them to residential. There's far more tax savings in that regard. Where is the city of Thorold falling with regards to their balance of employment lands right now and what they intend to see for 2050, shall we say, in terms of population growth and maintaining that balance? Is it happening, or is there any discussion in that regard?
Well, I think it's an important discussion, and I think that we can't rush and say we. I believe, and I'm speaking on behalf of of the city of Thorold situation. We have enough residential land that our industrial lands. I believe that they should be preserved for that intention. For employment lands, because we have enough other lands for residential. I don't think we need to encroach on those type of lands. We have, in fact, we probably in the not right now. We're in a position where on the commercial side, we have very few commercial properties for rent in the city of Thorold. We're full. There's a few here and there, but we can use more commercial property. And so we're
Wow.
pushing that investment. And we have certain areas that are zoned for that. And we're working with developers to try and get that developed. We have employment lands that are really getting a lot of traction right now, which is very interesting. And one of the things about the industrial properties within the city of Thorold, we don't own those properties. We try to bring parties together. Okay, so if the person owns a property, wants to sell that property, and we have an interested investor, and Marco works hard on this, bring them together to try and make something happen so that we can get employment opportunities. And that's something that this agreement, this MOU with HOPA is really, I think, going to pay dividends in that kind of area. So long story short, I think we have enough residential property that we can utilize our other lands for what the intent was.
That's awesome. Let's segue into HOPA. I know that, from an industrial development standpoint, it's very hard to disclose things that are underway before they happen. That's more damaging than beneficial. Everybody certainly wants to get out the good news as soon as they can. I think your MOU is maybe the best thing that's happened to Niagara industry in a long time, and I congratulate the city of Thorold for being part of that and partnering with it. um, where does your municipal allocation sit if, heaven forbid, Treasury and Transport Canada allocates some properties for development along that shoreline? Is Thorold able to take advantage of that? Do we have servicing that comes close to that area, or is it going to be better suited for Welland or Port Colborne? So on a general basis, do you see some opportunity spots that we can take advantage of in Thorold?
I think Thorold's very well positioned because the industrial properties along the Welland Canal are already serviced, and the multimodal hubs are already there. I think we're sitting in a position to really leverage that, and it's not going to take a lot of investment to make the kind of positive transformation of those properties and provide employment in Niagara. So I think we're well suited.
That's scary. That's scary.
Scary good
And
though.
scary good. Scary good. And they're all high paying jobs.
Yes, and that, but believe me, our you know what? When I ran for mayor, my main platform was economic development, business retention, and expansion, and I really and the community knows the importance of providing jobs. I mean, our job is to try and drive and get the people in there to provide the jobs, and we work hard every day trying to bring that to fruition.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. And did you think there may be some new announcements underfoot in the near future in 2021, 2022, kind of without having to divulge too much? Did you
Yeah,
see
I'm
anything on the
hopeful that
horizon?
I'm hopeful that we'll have some announcements soon. But again, I don't want to say anything because you know how it works. Um,
Yeah, you can't do it.
no,
Yeah,
not just that. Like I don't like to jump the gun. If whatever's happening has to happen, and if it does happen, then we'll have an announcement. But
that's great.
it's like anything else. You know how time consuming these processes are.
They are. They are. They think we think they're moving at a snail's pace, and yet they are moving very fast for the bureaucracies involved, aren't they? No, that's fantastic. Is it the Dana property that was being used for a while for building windmill towers and so forth? And is it vacated now, or is it being used, or what's happening with that big piece of land there?
That's a great piece of property, and it's currently been listed, so it's for sale. So we're hoping
Cool.
that, and I know Marco works hard on those type of projects, that hopefully someone will buy it that will set up a business that will be a positive impact not only on the city but the region as a whole.
That's awesome. Norgen, you mentioned them, and what a great example of the benefit of Brock University being on your doorstep and a company going across the street and becoming a success story.
I can't say enough about the Norgem Biotech, and the whole story there is interesting. And what you said about leveraging our post-secondary institutions, well, that's a classic example of what can happen. And if you look at where the business is heading, it's so exciting. I mean, we're working closely with them as from our building and planning department, because they have big plans for major addition to the property. Phase one of that addition has already been approved and is on the construction's underway, but that's only phase one. There's further phases down the road as things progress, and just a great news story. And I'm and excellent business, excellent. It's paying jobs, and you can't say enough about a business like that. And we're just so
Uh,
fortunate. We're fortunate to have that in our backyard.
that's fantastic. Are you able to take any proactive steps to try to fish out the next Norgen? Is there anything that the city of Thorold can be doing in that regard, as far as proactive,
Well,
checking around, looking for incubators and
I meet almost monthly with Dr. Farron, the president of Brock University, and those discussions are always part of our monthly discussions on opportunities for us to partner with them and look at those type of initiatives. And
awesome.
definitely it's something that we want to explore and work together. And Brock University and Niagara College gives opportunities on both fronts to get involved in those type of initiatives.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, the 2021 budget. Can you give us any indication as to how it's going to look? Naturally, constituents are always worried about tax increases, but do you see any changes in where the funding's going, or any strategies in that regard, or can you say much about it at this point?
Well, I think that if you look at, everybody's going to have a tough budget this season, and priorities will be set. One of the thing is with our strategic plan, we've set priorities, and the way projects are allocated um, is pretty well established where we're heading. But that could change on depending if there's funding opportunities for a certain project ahead of another project. We may move them because you don't want to miss out on funding opportunities. But um, on the capital side, I think we got a good idea. Again, we're hoping for some infrastructure funding. On the operation side, I think that that is going to be more of a challenge for all municipalities because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Trying to figure out how long these costs are going to be in effect. And I mean, there's a lot of optimism over a vaccine now. And so we're very hopeful that um, I think the biggest part of that's going to be to get through the winter. And then I think there's reason for optimism after that for sure. Um, we're going to be mindful, and we're going to do everything we can to keep any impact to a minimum this year for sure. And I don't think that's just the thinking of the city of Thorold. Anybody I've talked to in other municipalities feels the same way. Um, this is not a time where we going to go out there and spend freely. Absolutely not. We're going to be frugal, and we're going to make sure the decisions we made are based on need and what we have to do. Because I will tell you this, and this is the feeling I think not just in Thorold, but anywhere when you talk to residents, they want to maintain the service level. Everybody expects, grass to be cut in the parks, roads to be plowed, their garbage to be picked up. Like these type of things are expenses that residents expect, and I'm finding also on the amenity side, I think people have learned through COVID, spending more time with family and the outdoors, that walking trails, maybe a bike path, these are important. And the community is realizing now that those are the type of amenities they want to see in their community. And I really think that that's going to be a positive that comes out of this, you know.
I agree. I agree. It's going to change our culture in some ways, isn't it, to the better?
It really is. And, as bad as it
Yeah.
is, because, but that type of thing I think is a positive. And, I talked to one of our retailers, and they said that like they couldn't keep bikes in the store. The bike sales last year were unbelievable. People getting back riding bikes since they hadn't been on a bike since they were a kid. Now they found out, oh, this is great. I love it. And and I'm a cyclist, so I love to see that. And to see the amount of people out in the bike paths this year, and that was tremendous, outstanding.
Yeah. No, it's really great. And they're not waiting in line with cardiac problems at the hospital either. So it works both ways, right?
Absolutely.
In our discussion last week with Pelham, one example came up of partnerships, intermunicipality partnerships, and in talking to Mayor Gibson Wainfleet, he pointed out, hey, we're so small that our planning department is one person, our our roads department is one person. When they go on vacation, we don't have a planning department. So you have situations like that, and of course you have larger cities too that in that case. But one really good example is Fort Erie, Pelham, and Wainfleet are going to be sharing legal services. So you're going to have one legal counsel that they're going to hire and share amongst the three of them. Um, and of course, not too long ago, we were threatened with a complete amalgamation, and it didn't happen. But at that point in time, all the municipalities were hand in hand saying there are a lot of things we can do to keep on reducing costs and to share, different services in different ways. Is there anything that Thorold has done or is planning on doing in that regard that might be a cost saving and, if not, a service improvement?
Well, yes, we are working closely. Like I mentioned before, we signed the MOU with Pelham, Welland, Port Colborne, and Wainfleet on cost saving initiatives. Our CAOs are currently working with the CAO at the region on service delivery ways that we can save money on areas such as service delivery. And should be a report coming soon on that, on opportunities there. I think it's incumbent on us to look for any opportunities we can to streamline costs. And because at the end of the day, whether it's the region or the local municipality, there's only one taxpayer, right? And we have to make sure that we're giving them the best value for the money we spend. So absolutely, we're always looking at it. That legal initiative that you just told me about, that's very interesting. I wasn't aware of that, and I like that idea.
Yeah, they're going to have one legal counsel, and they're going to hire it. And I think like 1 day in Wainfleet, 2 days in Pelham, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so that'll help a lot, and probably cut back on their legal costs. And at least they hope it will. So kind of neat. Um, Going back to the Brock district plan, that sounds pretty exciting too. In terms of collaboration between municipalities and Brock. Could you maybe elaborate a bit on that one and what might come of it? What do we see? It sounds like it's going to be a great way to create a green space and an overall planning budget or plan that doesn't look at a single entity, but all three together as one thing. But maybe you could elaborate a bit on it.
Well, if you look at that, and if you look in our area as an example, with the trails that have been put in, And I'll just use that. If you come from DQ Road, well, actually, if you come from Richmond Street, you can go from Richmond Street now all the way up to St. David's Road. There's a multi-use path, okay?
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
that multi-use path now is going to go all the way from Merrittville Highway to Collier Road. It's under construction now. It'll be on the Thorold side of St. David's Road. That path will continue all the way to there. And now we're in doing the environmental assessment with the city of St. Catharines, and we're ended up going to do the other part of St. David's Road all the way to Front Street, and then that will continue that multi-use path all the way down to Front Street as well. So that's going to be great for complete streets, accessibility, and having active transportation. We're also looking at, as a community, to extend that trail, which would be included in that district plan, from DQ Road, Merrittville Highway corner. First phase would go then to the DQ Heritage Park. And then eventually we hope to continue it all the way to Morningstar Mill. And that would give full accessibility to that area, and people can get out and enjoy a safe, route to take. So that's on that part.
You can almost circumnavigate Lake. You can almost circumnavigate Lake Gibson that way, could you?
Yes, you could, because, well, then there's the mountain bike trails that go all through there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, then, if you look at inside of the Schmoen Parkway area where the new lofts are going to go, and that's all going to have cut through there with a trail and nice streetscaping, so that you can get across to Merrittville Highway safely, and you don't always have to go up to St. David's Road. So that'll be incorporated into that plan. You look at what we're doing there is we're making that multi-use, so you have housing, you've got businesses. We're hoping to pick up some commercial there. We're starting to get traction now because of the Canada Games Park in areas such as sports medicine and things of that nature. And we've had a lot. I'll give you an example of another great news story is Niagara Eye Care moved into the old Life Labs building, took probably about over half of that building square footage, and that's 4 eye surgeons in there. And they moved there, and I asked them, why did you move here? And they said, our customer base is from Stony Creek to Fort Erie, and this is a great location, central, highway access, and their business is just booming. And it's just an example of what's going on that a lot of people don't even realize, these type of things are actually happening. And we're getting more specialists move into that area as well. So it's definitely a good news story. And then if you look at the whole plan, there is a lot of green space, making sure that's preserved, and wetlands in that area that have to be preserved. So it's a holistical approach, and I'm excited about it.
Maybe we can get hydro generation or Ontario power generation to give up some of Gibson properties and put residential around the shoreline. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, you know what? That green space there, they're actually very good when we work and we want to create paths, and that they've been a great partner in not standing in the way of something that's good for the community. So,
good. That's good to hear.
That's been positive.
Oh, nice. Thorold Tunnel. It's a lot of people are grumbling. It's been going on a really long time. I don't think you're going to lose out in the next election because of the Thorold Tunnel, but nonetheless, what's the crystal ball as to when we get all lanes working? Is that ever going to happen again, or are we just going to transfer one to the other?
You know what? I told Matt Holmes, I was on the radio over that. People say Thorold Tunnel, they think we own the tunnel, right? But it's an empty.
Of course, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Last night's regional council meeting, I was talking, and I made a point, and Chair Bradley says, "Excellent point, Terry, and I want to thank you for getting the Thorold Tunnel open," because everybody always Thorold Tunnel, right? But truth be told, we had a lot. You remember when they were going to close the tunnel last winter, and then we had to get we got right on it. Chair Bradley and myself and Mayor Diodati got involved, Mayor Senzik, but um, I actually had Transportation Minister Carolyn Maroney call my house over that. She called me and I had to explain the importance of this tunnel, right? And she was great. After I talked to her, things started moving. But anyways, this,
Well, at the least,
but let
at
me
the
tell
very
you
least,
where we're headed.
strategically, at the very least, strategically, you have to change the name. You can't
I
call it
know.
Thorold Tunnel anymore if it's not going to work. Don't put your name up there.
Yeah, but it's good PR when it's working, right? Thorold Tunnel when it's working. But anyway, getting on with the tunnel, here's the story. For the winter, they're opening up both sides, both lanes. By the end of this week, both lanes on both sides will be completely open. Right now, it's open in both directions, but heading towards Niagara Falls, they have one lane closed because they're still doing some lighting work. But apparently, by the end of this week, right through the winter, you'll have two lanes going each way, normal traffic. Come the
Wow.
spring, there'll be some closures and movements because they got to finish some concrete paving work and all the, finalizing everything so that by next summer the job is completely done. And it
Wow.
and which is good because there's another project that's going to take place on Highway 20 before the bridge in Allenburg. You know that small bridge over the channel that they had to close
Yep.
well, that bridge is going to be replaced next year.
Oh
So
no. Okay.
so that bridge, there'll be a closure for that. But I mean, this is all good to get all this infrastructure done. If you look at what's been going on, because of where we're located in the region, most of these projects affect the city greatly, right? When they're working on the
Big time.
406 or they're working on Highway 20 or they're working on the tunnel. Definitely we feel the brunt of that. But at the end of all this, we're going to have great infrastructure for many years moving forward, and that's the positive side.
Neat. Neat. So is Ellenberg going to be shut down entirely for a period of time for that bridge? Or?
There will be, I don't know any details. All I know that that's budgeted in the regional, that's a regional road, and that's budgeted in next year's budget. So um,
Wow. Wow.
we'll get the more details and find out how that's going to affect traffic. But there's definitely going to be an impact on traffic there for sure. But by then, my understanding, they won't even to start that project till the tunnel's fully open. So,
Hmm.
okay.
That makes sense.
So,
They shouldn't do that. Yeah. At least you have one place to go across it. Yeah. Um, Bit of a sore discussion here. Does Mayor Junkin of Pelham ever start slinging mud at you for Highway 20 being Billboard City, where it turns into Thorold? The Thorold signage laws are quite different than Pelham's, it seems, and we even have, I think, 3 more billboards going up across from Mount Pleasant Cemetery. So it's becoming a Las Vegas strip from Font Hill into Ellenberg of signages. Did you plan on continuing that? Are you getting any money from it, or what's happening on this one?
on that signage, no,
Yeah.
I haven't had any. Nobody's complained to me personally on that. I've never heard any.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
You know, but I know it's a busy stretch because let's
Yeah.
face it, a lot of people that live in Pelham work in other parts of the municipalities of the region. So there's a lot of traffic going back and forth there every day.
Yeah. I think every lawyer and every real estate agent in Niagara has had a chance at a billboard along that stretch there at some point. That's awesome. Let me see if I have any other questions. I had one here that came up that related to streets. Let me read it. Due to increase in traffic flow on St. David's Road and Tupper Drive, moving from residential to a major thoroughfare, are traffic lights being installed at this intersection to ensure the safety of Brock students and senior residents who utilize the bus service?
You're talking at the corner of St. David's and Tupper, and I brought
And
that up
and
when they had all the environmental assessments and open houses. Um, that issue was one of the issues they reviewed. I personally brought it up. My understanding is that they're, and again, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think there's stoplights planned for that corner, but there's turning lanes planned. It will be
okay.
safer, but I don't think they're putting in traffic lights. But there's going to be a turning lanes and improve the flow of that corner. It is a busy corner, and that's a point well taken. That's
Yeah,
that area there is been transferred. That's a regional road now. That area of St. David's Road, St. Catherine's, and us have uploaded that to the region. We had to pay so much to make sure the infrastructure was done as far as bringing the road up to standards, and then the region takes it over.
took over.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have no more questions, and this has been an amazingly informative session, Mayor Ugulini. Thank you so much for your time, and what an exciting time to be mayor of Thorold, and what a transformation through your legacy, through your period in Thorold that we're seeing with regards to Thorold. It's going to be a different place from the day you started to the day you finish.
Well, absolutely.
And
If you look at the growth projection numbers, we're going to shatter them. And that's why I tell people, like, when we're making projections moving forward and planning for community amenities, we have to look at the growth in the population. So when you build something today, it's going to service the needs in moving forward. I'll give you a classic example, and I always make this point of our forefathers when they built the Doherty Arena in Thorold back in the early 70s. Thorold was probably around 10,000 people. And we built an arena that holds approximately 2,000 fans. Was at the time the second largest arena in Niagara to the Jack Aycliffe Arena. That's forward thinking, right? Because they seen where the city's heading. And now we have to think the same way because the growth projections are by 2040, Thorold's going to be 40,000 people. Well, I think we're going to hit that number before then. And they had us hitting 30,000 by 2030. We're gonna we're gonna beat that times period. So that's the way we have to think, because if we have that much population and we have to service that growth, we also have to provide amenities in the city for that growth as well. And so it's a transition period, and these are all things that even staff-wise, adjusting our business model, making sure we have enough staff to provide the service delivery our residents expect. That's all things that come on top of growth, right? You have to buy more snow plows. You have to do this because you have more parks. You have, it's a great time, but it's definitely keeps our staff busy, no doubt about it.
and you can see the municipalities that do it right and those that don't. It's painfully obvious. You just have to drive through municipalities that have not done growth in a proper manner or planned way, and you see all the sore spots, and those that do it properly really create a great spot for people to live. So yeah, it sounds like you've got it all working. Way to go.
Well, we got a great staff. And I can really say that when you have good staff, that's a huge asset to the city. And I can't say enough about our staff, not only doing their job, but also having to deal with all the repercussions of COVID-19. And
Yeah.
it's a tough time right now for everybody, but they've stepped up to the plate. And uh, everybody in the city, our public works crew, our parks crew. I can't say enough about the whole operation. Amazing.
That's so neat. That's great. Um, Thank you, Mayor Ugolini, and for this morning's chat. The continuous flow of information is more important than ever, obviously, in these times. And as a Chamber of Commerce, we appreciate the relationship we have with you and in your office and in your people. Thanks again for the time spent with us.
Thank you so much for
A
me.
reminder.
Appreciate it.
Oh, A reminder of our next session of our mayor's update series, and it's our last, I believe, December 3rd, 2 weeks from now. Mayor Steele, City of Port Colborne. You can register for that today, and go on to the chamber website, and you'll find a spot to do so. We have a number of weekly webinars and networking activities that are taking place, so check out those at the website, and you can get additional details as well. This will be recorded and should be available fairly shortly. If you wish to pass it on to friends, or wish to review some comment that was made on anything that was covered today. And want to wish everybody a great day. And Mayor Ugulini, thank you once again for a wonderful time, and thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you.
I want to thank you, Vern, and thank you, Dolores, and thank you, Brian, for all your technical work in the background. Thanks so much.
Thank you.